Welcome back to the 2 Months Podcast, presented by BioStill and powered by Go Goat Sports. I'm your host, Joshua Marshall. Tonight we got our roundtable back. We have a very special guest, and we'll get to him last. But let's get to our panel. This is a big return for our last guest. The last time he was on with us was when we had Matt Berlin on, the Oilers E-Bug goalie. But let's get to the panel first. We got Clay Vanderham. Vandy, how's it going?
Vandy is dandy. Just had my first sip of wine tonight at 7 o'clock because I have to rush and get my trailer out to the storage for the winter because I've got a scumbag neighbor that called bylaw on me because I usually park it in front of my house. I got a pretty big corner lot and I parked the trailer. You probably saw it today, Bosco, when you dropped it off. And yeah, I've been getting notices and I've been trying to call. I call the city and get extension, blah blah blah. So if you're that neighbor that fucking calls because you got nothing else better to do, my neighbor next door has got a trailer on his driveway and he keeps it there all winter and they got a notice too. So if you're that scumbag neighbor, I hope, no, I won't say that, but I hope your basement floods.
So he's complaining that it's on where it is right now.
Yeah, because it's been there for 13 years. Yeah. I've kept it there for 13 years.
That's bizarre.
And we just all of a sudden got a notice. So
wow.
The city of Edmonton is more worried about my trailer on
your property,
my property, than they are about like the transit situation or the crime in this city. Like, fuck off. Leave me alone.
Just let me be.
Huh?
What did the letter say?
It said if I don't move it within like 72 hours or whatever, or they gave me a deadline of August 31st. If I don't move it by then, I get a $250 fine, and then it increments each time. So like it could go up to like $1,500.
If you need a place in the meantime, buddy, I got room out here. So
I appreciate that, man. I appreciate that. I got a buddy's dad, father-in-law out at Buck Lake. He lets me. I just cruise it out there because we usually stop at Pigeon and May. But anyway, that just bothers me. It's terrible. Be better, people.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway.
And we got our other co-host. We got AK, the closer. We got Brody McIntyre. Broads, how's it going?
It is a good day. I'm in a good mood. It's Tuesday after a long weekend. Things are humming along. Life's swell, pal. Did a nice little 12-hour drive with my wife on the weekend. So back watching trials for my little guy. And yeah, it's good.
There you go. Can't complain at all. All right, we got Phil Stockley with us. Phil, how's it going?
Going pretty good. Jeez, I don't even think they got the ice in Noosa up to yet. You guys are all doing tryouts. I don't even have the ice in over there. So we're still in summer mode. Yeah. I'm doing good. I'm doing good.
Nice. And I don't know, Cam will have to find some kind of crazy audio to do an intro here, like maybe Stone Cold Steve Auston, the Virginia.
Okay, let's settle
Virginia down. Tech. I don't know, but we got him back. He's finally back with us. We got Trevor Rupper with us. Rupper, how's it going?
Going good. A few corrections, Clay. One, he said that if he didn't move by August 31st, he'd be getting some fines. It's already September 6th. Brody mentioned that it was Tuesday after a long weekend. It's actually Wednesday.
Right, it is Wednesday.
So that's kind of where I'm at right now. Regarding Clay's situation with the neighbors, all you got to do is come out to St. Albert. You got like Al Borland on each side, buddy.
That's awesome. Right on. No, that's cool. So I guess Rupper, we'll kind of start with you. And Broads can chime in on this too. You guys have your camp throughout the summer, and then your 3-on-3 camp. I ran into a friend of the pod, Dustin Canal, at Meadows the other day, and he was telling me about how busy it is with the weekend, and their kids were his little guy was taking part of it. But how was the experience through you guys' camp throughout the summer, and how was the 3-on-3?
The camp was fantastic. I think Brody can attest to that. And, Deanne, his wife, runs the conditioning part outside, the off-ice stuff. And, my wife is on the books. So something we've been doing for, I don't even know now, 5 years, I'd say.
Yeah, I was going to say 4 or 5.
Yeah, it feels like
it.
It.
So I feel like, and it's not about building a name or anything like that. It was, we had kids in hockey and we wanted to kind of keep them on the ice in the summer, but we wanted to stray away from kind of what everybody else was doing and get back to being at a conditioning camp. And um, especially out here in St. Albert, we're getting full camps. We ran 3 camps this year. We ran a U13 camp, a U15 camp, and then a U18/junior camp. And, they were pretty full. So it's going pretty good. And, with that, um, Phil kind of hooked us up, actually hooked Brody up more with, kind of doing their development out in New Sarepta. So we bounce out there next Sunday to do some hitting clinics for them, and then I think we go 6 times during the year, kind of every other Monday or every once a month, and from U11 all the way up to I think 17 or 15, we will just do skills and drills and skating and things like that. So it was busy and it was fun, and kind of me and Brody been talking about a 3-on-3 thing for a long time, and I am fortunate enough to have a younger kid where me and a couple other coaches in the HSL got together and said, why don't we just try running a little 3-on-3 kind of conditioning tournament out at the mall, and kind of just put teams or players' names in a hat and drew them out, and they just landed where they did. And it was honestly, I've been to a lot of tournaments and I've done 3-on-3 stuff, and I don't know if it's the mall or kind of the group we had, but it was awesome. Kids had a blast, and it came down honestly to Sunday where there was upsets to knock contenders out, and one team had to win by a few goals to get into the semis. It was just wild. It was great hockey and all close games, so mission accomplished.
So is that a spin-off of your camp, would you say?
Not really. Brody and I are actually, might as well maybe let everybody know that next summer we're going to be, I think, starting a 3-on-3 league out here in St. Albert. So we'll see what kind of ice we can get. Brody's already got the feelers out, and I kind of was the what do you want to call it? Not the scapegoat, but the trial guy here for this West Ed thing, and it ran good. We'll get
Was
refs
it all
out
weekend?
there. Yeah, it was all weekend. Went Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Right on.
So kind of what we're looking for next year is, just enter your own team of 10, 9 skaters, including a goalie, and we'll go once a week, try to get Friday nights, and do that for 4 or 5 weeks, and just see how that goes. I think the kids will love it.
Be fun, man.
Yeah, bro, do you want to chime in on it and maybe even plug where people can get a hold of this event? And if you guys have an Instagram account or do you guys got Twitter or an email that people can get a hold of? But your experience and what you thought about this great initiative and tournament you guys are starting, this another way to add more skills and development to the kids too, right?
Yeah, and this will be more about just fun, right? I think it'll be, whoever wants to be in your team, throw your team in. We'll pick a team name. We'll give you some jerseys every Friday. Show up, have some fun. It'll be pull the puck out of the net after a goal, keep on buzzing, and play 2 25-minute halves or 2 20-minute halves or whatever it works out to be, and let the kids just have some fun, right? Parents will be up probably having a couple beer up top, drive them home after. It'll be a really cool, I think, just kind of chill, fun, no structure, but also good. Every kids nowadays, they always want to be in the ice, so
yeah,
give them a reason to come out, and it'll be fun. It's not power skating. It's not worrying about stick positioning or angles or anything. Just go out and have some fun. So
Just
we're looking
playing
forward
hockey.
just play hockey and have some fun.
I
Like
love
it's
it.
awesome, right?
That's
No structure. So that's good. We booked. I've kind of sent in for the ice, and we'll see what comes out from St. Albert. They're pretty good at giving us ice. So
yeah.
And it'll be low cost. We're not looking to make money, right? We're just looking to
give back,
have some fun for the kids and get out there and have a couple of brewskis after. It'll be great, I think.
So for people that want to sign up to this,
And they can email us.
Yeah. if you have an email there.
Yeah, sorry, boss. Yeah, they can email me, BrodyOffers@gmail.com, BRODYOFFERS@gmail.com.
Okay, we'll
I'll
put
be
that.
happy to get back to them. No, we don't have any paperwork or anything yet. We're still kind of figuring out all the details, but it's definitely going to be a go.
Okay, perfect. And we'll get Cam to throw that in the show notes when we send this over to Go Road Sports, and then when they post it, it'll be in the description for everyone. If they didn't get the email there, you can just find the link and get a hold of Brody to start the conversation and see where things go for sure. So I'm looking. That'll be fun.
Bosco, you had quite the event this weekend.
Yeah, that looked amazing, man.
Wow.
Yeah, let's thanks to Phil too for being a part of it. But we that was definitely our next topic, so we'll switch over to that. But obviously Shadified Salon and Barbershop is it's been sponsoring us since episode 1, and we are on episode 212 today. But Shadi, and I've known that family for 25 plus years, and they've been always willing to give back. And this was the 11th annual Can Man Dan event, and it was called We Are Here For You Day. And Phil brought out his drone and his camera, because that's what Phil does for a living. If people don't know, he's a part of his own little company here.
So was that a lineup? That was the lineup of people?
Yeah.
Motherfucker.
So
holy shit.
You got
that's incredible.
So Shadified, the event usually goes from 10 a.m. to 5 p.m. But Shadi might, I will share it. But they stayed until 9 o'clock. Every single person in the line got their haircut. So
and they were like throwing people in the barber chair, like next, like it was crazy.
Yeah. So
how many haircuts total?
Over 4,000 haircuts were
what?
Over 4,000. So unfortunately they ran out of backpacks, because they do give backpacks, and they had 500 loaves of bread. They had like food for the families too. So the kids had back to school supplies and some food to put on their tables, because obviously the event holds it for people that are low-income families around Edmonton. And so, this is probably the biggest crowd I think they've ever had. At least it's the biggest crowd I've ever seen that they've had. And so Phil and I were there from about 10 till about I think maybe 12:30, 1 o'clock.
12:30?
Yeah, 12:30, 1 o'clock. Vince Fiacco, Phil's good friend, dropped by with some diapers and food hamper. Him and his family stopped by, so it was they dished out. But it was over 4,000. So it's obviously the backpacks costs, that years ago was like $7, and now it costs 24 to 23 bucks or whatever it is. So they couldn't get everyone a backpack, but they got everyone a haircut. So just amazing event. It was pretty special to be a part of it. We're definitely going to be a part of it next year. This, for Phil and I and our podcast, was kind of just to see what it was like. And, we went and chatted with some people, interviewed some people, and, Phil took a bunch of pictures. So Phil, I'll throw to you. You want to probably comment on it as well too.
Yeah, it was wild, because you talk to people there, and they were like, 5 years ago, we didn't need this help. And with the way the economy's going and the world's going, like, it's not a proud moment to come out and like need help, but at the same time, it is, like, don't be afraid if you need help to come and get help. Like, that's what it's there for. But it was just shocking to like talk to some people, and they like, a lot of people are having a hard go right now. And super cool event. What was Vince Fiacco's what did he say? Bosco in his
his line is the secret to living is giving. So the line that he had, and I think that just summed up the whole situation, the whole day, and what the whole day is about. And
I didn't want to butcher it, so I asked Bosco to do it.
No worries. It was pretty sweet to be a part of it. So we'll definitely be a part of it going forward, and try to help raise more awareness and some money for it to add those, so the backpacks don't run out at 3 o'clock. But the demand and the need is high, so it's it's good and it's sad in a way, but we'll see. Yeah, it's a beautiful event.
Yeah, and these guys, these barbers and hairdressers, like they were just going like full out, like they were putting designs in kids' hair, they were spraying color on their hair, and like the smiles were just like so awesome. These kids were just pumped.
Yeah.
So
How many
awesome job
stylists
to
total?
Shaddy and his team.
Over 20. They had over 20 stylists. I think
Yeah, man,
they
it looked
almost
like
probably
every chair was
every chair was
crazy.
full. Yeah, yeah. You had on the one side the girls were taking care of the girls coming in and getting the girls done, and then the other side they had the guys taking care for the guys, and if they needed anything else, they had the chairs to put highlights in or colors in or like Phil said,
Awesome.
different stuff. Yeah, it's pretty.
Kudos, yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty cool event to be a part of for sure.
Stick taps to Shadify.
Yeah, exactly. Great to
I feel like I feel like that model should be changed to the secret to living is giving a high and tight haircut. I'm looking at you, Bosco, and you, Phil, and holy smokes, you guys must have fell in that barber chair too.
So Phil has got his hat on, but yeah, I got the haircut going on here. So don't worry, Shaddy will take care of you guys. You guys go and see him.
Yeah, you got to go see him. It's an experience, boys.
Yeah, the guy's the best barber in Edmonton, man.
Hey, what's the Vince guy's name?
Vince Viacco.
It sounds like a stage name, like he's a wrestler or something.
I used to play hockey.
Do you know him, Brody?
I feel like
he's a realtor in Edmonton.
Yeah, I know. But did he play ball hockey too?
He did, yeah.
No.
His brother, yeah, he did. And his brother played.
Vince didn't. Vince never played ball hockey.
I'm pretty sure he did with his brother Rob. So I'm pretty sure back in the day they did. And when they were playing the Italian.
Well, we'll have to go to the
fact check it. Eh?
We'll have to go upstairs. Yeah, we'll have to go check the tapes and see if he's out there.
Fact check.
Loser shaves their head.
Exactly. So Phil's he's ready to go to Mark Messier here. So it's ready to.
I'm like, who's that guy with like the skullet? The Washington Capitals guy. There, what was his name?
L.A.
Yeah, that's what I'm going for here.
You need a dart hanging out of your mouth.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Speaking of Shadified, we'll stick to the theme. Obviously, Shadified Salon Barbershop. They got 3 locations: Ellerslie, Northside, and downtown. Go see the guys there. Tell them the 2 Month Podcast sent you, and let's get to our Edmonton Oilers report, sponsored by Shadified. Rupper, your thoughts on the Jeff Jackson hiring and some of the offseason moves that the Oilers has? First time having you on with all the news that has happened and the captain skates going on. The entire team is here, even to the farm team guys. They're up here too. So your thoughts on the season ahead and the offseason the Oilers had, Rupper?
I like the fact that everybody's up for this captain skate. I think that shows that maybe they're ready going to start the season for business this year. I think there's some unhappy people with how the last couple of years have played out in the playoffs, and that's just the one way of getting prepped for it. Off season wise, what was the big news?
Connor Brown come in,
yeah. I mean, Connor Brown, we'll wait and see what the verdict's out. I know he played with Connor in juniors, and that's a long time ago. I think he helps the team. Some of the PTOs that they signed are your normal PTOs that they do every single year. They seem like they want to bring back a couple ex-players and see how they pan out. I don't know if there's room for them this year, because I think their 3rd and 4th lines are going to be pretty much the same. So I don't know. It's tough to say without really seeing any skates and any exhibition games. And I'm more of a guy that can ask Brody. We got our kids' trials going on. Who's this guy? Who's that guy? I go, Brods, I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta see him in a game. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
So
right.
we have the kind of our first exhibition game tomorrow. Our boys are unfortunately probably going to be out for a few of them because they're returners, and the coach wants to see kind of the new blood coming up, and I expect that the same with the Edmonton Oilers.
Yeah, it is interesting. Even they talk about Gagne just came off hip surgery and Sutter hasn't played in 2 years. And Noah Gregor is in this backyard, and he gets a PTO with Toronto, and the he's got wheels and 25 years old. So I was a little bit surprised. I guess maybe they're just trying to add a little bit more veteran presence to the bottom six, because it was good when they had Bukestad there. But obviously Gagne is more of a right winger than a center, and Sutter's always been in shape. But yeah, Broads, your thoughts on kind of what you've seen with Jeff Jackson come in? It's the first time you've been on with that too, and the captain skates, all this other stuff here.
Jeff Jackson seems like a good hire. I can't really comment on what he's changed. I mean, sure, he hired a video guy. I don't know if they're good or bad. I have no idea.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure he'll be great though. It's good leadership, right? He's got a good background. Sounds like he's well liked, well respected in the hockey community. So I hope he does a good job, and I'm sure he will. As far as the captain skates, I think it's really important that McDavid kind of is behind this, right? This isn't just come on out, let's have some skates if you're in town. It's for a reason. He's like, we're be here on this date. Here's what we're doing. Here's why we're doing it, so that when the season starts, we are at, or even tryouts start, really the camp, we are ready and we are focused, and we've already worked on our power play. We've already worked on this. We're in the gym together. We're dialed because we're winning the Stanley Cup. There's a reason behind it. It's not like he's just, I don't know, it shows leadership, it shows growth, it shows that they're for real and they're going to be contenders this year. So I really like that. I think it's only going to be I think it's going to be very beneficial for the team for later, like come Christmas, come January, February, when it starts to actually matter. So I'm pretty pumped about that. What was the last question, Bosco? There's one more.
Yeah.
Oh, the PTOs.
Yes.
The PTOs. Sam Gagne's here because he's buddies with McDavid and Drysdale.
Right.
End of story.
Yeah.
And Sutter, I don't know, man. 2 years out is a heck of a long time, I imagine, for an NHL player. So I'm assuming he'll get cut at some point, would be my guess. I hope I'm wrong. I hope he's serviceable and a good player, but that's pretty tough to come back from, I think. So
Yeah.
And I don't know about Gagne. I honestly just think he's here because of McDavid and Drysdale. They wanted him here. So
they obviously hang out in the summertime in Muskoka area and all that. So
yeah.
Phil, your thoughts
on the PTOs?
Yeah, just the orders, just kind of everything there. The captain skates, the PTOs, Jeff Jackson coming in. Kind of the wave there.
Yeah, I'll just kind of touch on the PTOs. Like, I'm just kind of wondering, like, I think Sutter and Gagne are both centers, so they're probably competing against one another. Like, who else would they be competing against on the Oilers for that role?
Yeah, well, obviously Derek Ryan and Ryan McLeod, right? So those are your third and fourth line centers, but really Derek Ryan transitioned more to the right wing. Same with Sam Gagne, so they really don't have a fourth line center because they lost Bukestad and he was their fourth line center, because that line between Fogle, McLeod, and Ryan, was a really good line in the playoffs down the stretch, right? So that will be their third line probably again, and their Corsi numbers were through the roof. So yeah, you're really competing for trying to win that job, but with the limited cap space, it's going to be tough. And then Jason Greger reported yesterday that on top of these PTOs, the Oilers are looking at making a depth signing in the organization for around around 800K or so, is what Greger reported on his show.
Did he hint to it?
So
I'm available.
Yeah, he just
hint to it.
He didn't hint to it. He didn't bring up names, but he said he heard with his hit with Speck yesterday. He just said, yeah, he's hearing some whispers that the Oilers are closing in on a signing, and it would be a depth player in the 800 range mark, and he would be a fourth line player. So he didn't give up any names at all. So this was obviously yesterday, and the news broke of his nephew getting a PTO with the Leafs today. But yeah, sorry, Phil, go ahead.
Sorry, Phil.
No, it's all good. Yeah, you guys are the Oilers guys, so you guys can fight it out. But I don't know. I just is there room for even one of these guys on the team? That's just my question. Or is it just like kind of like let's get McLeod a little bit of a push here and give him some competition at camp?
Vandy, your thoughts? Throw to you on that one.
Yeah, well, just what Phil said. I think it's just to add a little bit more competition. I mean, at the end of the day, Gagne's not going to be a third, fourth line guy. Gagne, I think if you're going to sign him, he's got to be your top six, no?
Yeah.
I mean, probably. So I think he's just by process of elimination, I mean, he'll get a fair shot. But Sutter's intriguing. I think being 2 years out, it'll be tough for him to come back and get to that level. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, correct me if I'm wrong. Can you sign a PTO? They have to sign a one-way deal, do they not?
They can go
Or
they can go a two-way too if they want.
So there you go. You add depth to your lineup.
Regardless, they got to clear waivers anyways. So
correct, yeah. But anyway, I mean, he's been out 2 years, but yeah, it is what it is, right?
Sutter,
I think it is just to add competition.
Yeah, and Sutter did say on Oilers Now that it's either Edmonton or Calgary or Vancouver is the only places he would play. And as soon as he threw the hat out of got the bill of health to play, Edmonton signed him automatically. So that PTO was in the hopper for a while.
And there's nothing wrong with having competitiveness. And I mean, it's a problem we haven't had in a long time, right?
Yeah.
And it just shows the growth. Going back to the captain's skate, I think we have to look at, I mean, is this the first year everybody's come back?
This early, correct. Yeah.
So, I mean, it goes to show you that Connor not only is growing as a player on the ice, but off the ice. And he's obviously learning how to be a leader. And whether they call it a captain's skate, and whether or not Connor told everybody to come in or not. But I think it just shows that they're heading in the right direction.
Yeah. The story I got told today was when they got eliminated against Vegas, before the media came in and coaches came in. And I think he confirmed it with Stauffer tonight that he closed the doors and said, we'll be back in Edmonton on September 5th. I expect every single person of you guys, everyone in this room that is going to be here. Obviously, there's changes.
It seems like it's been a long off season, no? Because of all the shit show that we've had for the last 3 years. It just seems like we haven't had hockey in so long. I mean, we had the World Juniors in August last year, so we kind of got that fixed.
Yeah.
But it just seems like it's been so long for.
Has been.
I mean, it seems like
longer for some of us, eh?
No, yeah, correct, obviously, and but yeah, it just seems like it's been a long summer. So these guys will be itching to get back into it.
Yeah. Some breaking news here, actually. We got some breaking news. Some NHL breaking news here. The Ottawa Senators, Brody, you'll like this. The Ottawa Senators have signed Jake Sanderson to an 8-year deal, $8.5 million.
St. Albert boy.
Oh boy,
that's a lot of money.
Yeah, 8 years.
He's a stud. If you haven't watched him,
yeah. Bro, your thoughts? You've been watching this kid for a while and know the story. So
he was in the States, man. He didn't play around here. He was down in the U.S. development program. Right?
Okay. Sorry.
But
he didn't play minor hockey in St. Albert?
Young, and then his dad
left,
right? He was down in Montana and then the U.S. National Development Program.
Mm-hmm.
But his family's all from here. They grew up with their brothers and stuff, so they'll be pumped. That's a lot of money, right? There's no more second contracts anymore. It's just like you're young, you're good. Here's a boatload of cash and a boatload of term.
Yeah.
Like good for him, and he's a good player. He's a really good player.
So
that's pretty cool. I'm gonna text his uncle right now and see what he has to say. Tell him we should give some to him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Rupper, your thoughts on this deal?
Well, great. Ottawa's making moves, and they've been doing it for a little bit, and they're going to be a freaking deadly team, man.
Yeah,
they're going to be fun to watch. They got an unbelievable leader. You know, they made some moves, got rid of some contracts where they could sign, pick up a couple. And they're young, and I get it, but I'm telling you, they're going to be scary good.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, they will be. Yeah, they will be for sure. Vandy, you like that deal, don't you? I think it's
no, I don't. That's a lot of money, man. But I mean, if you got the cash, or you can do it. I mean, he is a good player, but that's a lot of money. Has he really proven himself?
Last year,
you know what I mean? But
yeah, last year he was kind of their all-around defenseman. But yeah,
he was drafted by Columbus, was he not?
No, he was drafted by the Senators. This is right out of his entry level deal. Like, it's an extension, so he might.
Well, they see something but yeah, they know, they would know more than I would know. So
obviously next year he'll still be on 1 year left of his entry level deal, and this deal will kick in. So,
well, like Rob said, they're loading up. Ottawa's going to be. Oof. And they have to, right? They're in probably one of the toughest divisions in the show. So
Right now they are, I would say, them or, the way things are shaping up in this Pacific division, that might be too, right? So I would say 5 teams out of the Pacific are going to make the playoffs this year when we get to that. Like we're a
that's
month
a
away
hot
before
take.
that. We're a month away before that podcast, but our prediction podcast. But Phil, your thoughts on this deal?
I like it. Rupper said it. I think Ottawa is going to be a fun team. These good defensemen, they're so hard to find. So I don't know if I'm Ottawa, I'm probably locking that up too. For long term. So I think I like it. I think it's good.
Shabbat and Sanderson as a 1-2, not too shabby.
No, not too shabby.
He's only played one season, boys.
Yeah.
77 games, 32 points.
No, you can't. I mean, yeah, you gotta go off that then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's pretty damn good.
4 goals.
Yeah.
But you think, like, for the most part, high pedigree guys who sign long term, they end up working out to be fantastic contracts.
Yeah.
So we'll stick to the defenseman theme and the young defenseman theme. Blake Fiddler, Vernon's little guy there. We were at the
He ain't little, dude.
Well, he ain't little. He's actually bigger than all of us. So,
Yeah.
but, obviously, his little guy in his way, but he is a big kid. So hopefully, we're just messaging him here today and yesterday. So hopefully, you get a chance to meet him. But we were there watching the game with the Fiddler family, and pretty sweet moment for sure. Just to kind of see him play, and he's going to have a pretty good year ahead. But Phil, you're at that game too. Your thoughts on kind of that Oil Kings top 40 game and the roster broken down now, and their first preseason game will be this Saturday.
Yeah, pretty lopsided game. Team Red kind of put the boots to Team White. Unfortunately, young Fiddler there, he was on the white team, and I don't think Vern was very happy with the white team's effort. I thought Blake played good. He was physical. He had a nice little wrestling match in the corner with a kid at the end of the game there. I don't know if you saw that or not, Bosco, but yeah,
do they fight at these camps anymore?
They
no fights on this one, but
there was almost a fight the day before. Fids was telling us when we got there, he was saying Blake and this other guy have been going at it, and Blake challenged him to a fight. The other guy said no. So, and then in the game, they went back and Fids goes, "There's that fucking guy again." So it's kind of, he didn't want to go at him, but Jerome's kid was there too. And this kid I've been watching, he's been at Doug Ockenberg's camp a lot. His name's Ashton Lee. He's 15 years old. This kid can play. He was really good. He ended up I don't know why he got cut. He did get cut. He was a 13th round. The Oil Kings drafted him in the 13th round. It was their last pick in the draft. But he was one of the kids that stood out, even to a few other people from what I heard. But yeah, he didn't make it. So we'll see. I think Doug Ockenberg's going to try to get him with the Storm here. But I thought it was good. It was good game, and kind of good to be in that atmosphere. We were the only media there. There's no other media there, so we were the only kind of guys there. But we weren't really.
Where does Blake go? Can he make the Oil Kings?
He's going to be on the Oil
Kings
this year. No, he'll be on the Oil Kings for sure this year.
Okay.
So I was walking in with one of the Oil Kings scouts, and he, when I walked in the rink, he was saying that he's definitely
he was the number one pick for import or whatever.
So he'll be with them for sure. So and Fids wants to watch him, play. Like they've kind of relocated back here a little bit and whatnot. And so it'll be good to see him. And his first preseason game is at the River Creek Casino on Saturday, and then they go to Red Deer for Sunday, and then they're in Grand Cache for 2 more games, and then the season I think starts. And
they're playing an exhibition game at River Creek.
Yeah. So
why?
Yeah.
Holy fuck.
Yeah.
What?
This Saturday they're playing an exhibition game. So I'm not joking. It's
they just traded for Tyson Nash's kid.
Yeah, I saw that.
That was a good trade there too. So Rupper, I don't know if you've kind of followed that scene too with Blake Fiddler and kind of Fids obviously, but kind of wishing him the best.
Well, yeah, and I mean he gets that's all from mom. I'll tell you that 100%. His height, his athletic ability, hand-eye speed. None of that's from dad.
Hey,
You
when
know,
Blake makes it, we got to take Blake to League Garden if he hasn't been there
yeah,
yet.
Yeah, I
yeah.
don't know. We'll have to see if you have it. So, yeah,
He's
no,
probably got
Sorry.
a VIP card there.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Well, you know what? It's exciting times, uh, kind of for myself and probably Brody and a lot of guys that kind of. I'm starting to know more guys that are getting drafted, and I'm able to follow. You know, there was a ton of guys off our team last year, a ton of guys we've played with. This year's going to be the same. So it's just exciting times, whether it's the dub route or the college route. It's just or AJ route, whatever it is. I mean, I can go on Flow TV, which is now or Flow Hockey, which was previously Hockey TV,
Yeah,
and I can literally like watch my nephew in Yorkton. I can flip over and watch Teo in Spruce. I can watch Brody's kid down and I can't even say the name. It starts with a W,
Wenatchee.
Wenatchee,
Figure it
right?
out.
So, you know, like we grew up with these kids. Our kids have played with these kids, so it's exciting times. And you know, speaking to that Ashton Lee, you know, he's 15 years old. Bosco. Not a lot of 15-year-olds are gonna make
yeah,
crack a roster spot in the dub. You know, it's tough. It's a lot of steps up, and just for him to get his foot in the
Yeah.
door is an amazing accomplishment. And
correct. Yeah,
you know, for him to just see like maybe what that next level is, it's got to be successful. And he might not look it as a successful, but it is successful.
yeah, yeah. And I know it's a always a different one when or a tough conversation. I don't even know if tough. It's you know, you guys are proud fathers, right? You guys, you know, you guys are very happy for where your kids are going in that aspect too. But you know, I know you guys are very humbled in that way where, you know, it's so I don't know. Like I don't want to put you guys on the spot, but obviously I know you kind of touched on it there a bit. But you know, for Broads, I don't know if there's anything you wanted to say too. Like it is a pretty cool moment, and you know, it like that. And I say it because like you think it, you hear it, all that, but to actually sit there with Vernon and his, you know, his mom and his brother and the family, like that was I was honored. It was an honor to sit there. And I've been in that situation before, dating back to the brick tournament with your kids are playing in that too. And that kind of brought back like good memories, like, you know, and, you know, I obviously everyone knows the whole story with Ilya and a kid that I'm kind of, you know, helping out, and, you know, he's doing his thing, and he's not my kid, but in a way I look at it like how much I love that kid. And, you know, you're watching him succeed and do the best in anything you can. I don't have kids, and that's maybe the closest thing that I have to in that aspect, because, you know, I do have my nephew, but, you know, he's more into soccer, so it's kind of cool to go support him in his soccer aspect too. But I love hockey. But you guys get to, you know, seeing it with Vernon and how you know, involved and, you know, connected he is watching the game, and seeing that with you guys too. Like you guys sometimes talk about how nervous wreck you guys are when you guys are watching your kids play, but you know, bro, just kind of throw
Well,
to you.
I mean, they're gonna go through it this year. I
Yeah,
mean, let's call
100%.
a spade. It's
Yeah,
gonna be. I mean, you guys, you're gonna go through it. It's gonna be exciting. It's gonna be, you know, I don't mean to speak on your behalf, but I mean, for me as an outsider and as a friend to both you guys, and it's gonna be fun. You know,
Cool. The only thing it gets a little stressful with parents, you know, you see
Yeah.
scouts in there and they start getting a little crazy. And Rupper and I made a pact to each other to either of us is ever getting squirrely or anybody is, we'll just nip it in the bud and be like, let's just relax here, guys. They're 14 and we'll
correct.
see what happens and keep on plugging
Yeah,
away.
yeah. I think at the end of the day, you know, coming up to this season, I think Brody and I were very lucky to be around
Yeah.
some dads that are, you know, have some skin in the game now. And like Brody's like Turner, you know what I mean? Like he's forging his own path and has his own goals and his dreams, and
Hmm.
you know, great on him. And I think the message from, you know, actually I don't think I know the message from myself and Brody to our kids this year is Don't worry about that stuff. Don't worry about rankings.
It's all noise, man.
Don't
Yeah,
worry
it's all
about putting
noise.
up points. Don't worry about, you know, who's in the crowd or this or that. Just go out and play like you've always played. And I think for the most part, they're pretty level headed in that aspect.
Yeah. Yeah, good. And those kids, yeah, we've met them and they've been on, this pod years ago and whatnot, and conversations with them at the rink at the John Reed, like very humble and very well mannered kids, right? So all those kids, like look at Finn Warner, like he signed the other day, I think it was Everett, right?
Warner.
Yeah.
So yeah, so just
He's gonna get. He's still down there. Dad left him down in Everett. He comes back, hangs out with the team for another however many days.
Yeah.
He's been there till Sunday, and they fly him home.
there you go.
And
Right?
you guys saw it. Did you
Dad-
guys just see? Did you guys see that they changed that WHL?
That's not changed, Dropper. That's not
No.
right.
Are you sure? So
Yeah.
100%.
what was I reading?
Twitter is not real. Things on the
I'm not
internet
saying
aren't always
Twitter
true.
was real, but I saw it at a few places.
I just talked to Werner about it. I said, "Frank, did you get that? Like, did you see that?" And he explained to me how it actually works.
Okay.
Okay, then I'll
That's
just shut
that's
my
not
mouth.
the truth. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, no, I think that's pretty sweet for
What
sure.
about that kid on Regina that's been blasting headline? He looks like he's 10
Yeah.
years old.
Looks like he was 10.
He's
pretty
a
cute
he's a
little
fucking defenseman.
buck. He looked like a surfer.
He did
Holy
actually.
fuck.
He was the number one trend on Elite Prospects. Jet was his name. I don't know. I can't pronounce his last name.
Jet de Champagne.
I was gonna say
Deschamps.
yeah.
Surfer.
So,
Anyway,
yeah, no, that's pretty sweet for sure. Phil, you want
I
to
had a cool moment today, boys. You want to hear something cool?
Yeah, go ahead.
what?
We went down, Deanna and I took Turner down to Wenatchee on the weekend or like last week. He made it kind of through the inter squad game and they asked him to stay, so he stayed. And today he hopped on a bus. My late bloomer kid that never ever would have thought this would have happened. Went to Spokane, played his very first exhibition game in the WHL. Like, how cool is that? I would never would have
Unreal,
thought.
man.
That's pretty cool. Pretty, pretty cool.
Yeah.
Pretty cool day today.
Awesome.
Yeah.
There you go. That's why life's good, right, Broads?
Absolutely, buddy. Yeah, that's one of the many reasons for sure.
Yeah, you got that right. That's a proud moment for sure. So awesome. Anything else you guys want to add to the WHL stuff? We want to do more of that this year. Where we're hoping that we'll get access to a media pass between the WHL and the NHL. We do have one with the Flames and the Hitmen. So it's just one with the Oil Kings and the Oilers, but conversations are still fluid in that. So, but you guys want to add anything there on the WHL theme?
It's just if you get a chance to go and watch it because it's really good hockey.
Yeah. Was it Connor McKenna is in Medicine Hat? That's I think Connor Bedard's cousin of there. Yeah.
I got to watch Zach Benson this last week. He is insane how good he is.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
Wenatchee. So they used to be an NAHL or USHL team.
They were NAHL, and then they were a BCHL up until.
That's right. Jubenville played there, bro. Jeff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jubenville played there.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
When they were whatever they were prior.
It's got an unbelievable building. Like, it's right near the water. The Columbia River's right there. It's
Yep.
pretty cool place.
Yeah. All right, we'll transition over to some other exciting news. The PWHL has signed, they got their teams going now. So big news for women's hockey professionally. So there's 6 teams. There's 3 in Canada, 3 in the States. So great on them for, getting that going. And, it's been a long haul for a lot here, just trying to get that league going. There's been so much, noise of unforeseen circumstances, so it's just nice to kind of have them going for sure. And so we'll keep an eye on that. So obviously, the teams will be in Toronto.
So fill me in, because I'm. What noise has there been? Right, I don't mean.
No, that's not bad. It's just there's never been, like, the NHL's always kind of shined away from supporting anything, because there's it's like, this person's going to run this league and they're going to run it this way, and then this person's going to run this league and run it this way, because there was 2 different kind of leagues, and then they weren't getting compensated, so they weren't getting paid. The games, some of the games. So obviously, seasons would start and then they would never finish because they're not getting paid. So now, like, the highest salary in the PWHL is going to be 80,000, and the lowest end of the salary is going to be 40,000. So I was talking to a friend today on the way to the rink to earlier tonight, and just asked her opinion because she played pro hockey over in Sweden, and her thoughts were that's really good money, like comparable money, like that is like more than probably what they thought.
Like, here's what I don't understand. Aside from football, or maybe maybe the girls, maybe there can be a football league, but why can't these professional sport league, like MLB, NHL, do what the NBA is doing with the WNBA? Like it or not, watch it or not, whatever your fancy is, but
Well, this is the first time the
how can
NHL
they?
jumped in now to help.
So is that kind of what's going on? Is
Yeah,
the NHL okay?
Yeah, it's the first time.
Perfect.
Yeah, Gary was pretty like the way Gary, and he said it on the record, was until they get the situation in order, there's nothing we can do to help. So now it took them this long to get their situation in order.
Good.
Now
Okay.
they'll have
Perfect.
Now they have it. So now the NHL can support them. And I think we saw
Perfect.
a little bit of that with them being a part of the NHL All-Star game. A lot of those players that we've seen at the NHL All-Star game are the first players to sign. So Brian Burke is running the the PA side for the women's, and then Jana Hefford's going to run the league side of it for that side. So Jana Hefford's obviously a very famous hockey player, great pedigree that she has in the women's hockey. So so yeah, they have 6 teams now. So obviously, yeah, three in the US, and they'll have their 3 in Canada. So good on them. Like,
and who owns the team?
Huh?
Who owns each team?
Yeah, they haven't announced the owners of who they are, as far as I know.
Not the NHL. Like, the NHL doesn't own them all.
Yeah, the NHL doesn't own them. Like, the NHL is supporting in any which way they can. But yeah, so there's Boston, Minnesota, New York, Ottawa, Montreal, Toronto. Those are the teams. So they don't. Yeah, they obviously kind of come up with like names and jerseys and all that, but they're a go for now. So they're just started signing players the other day, like Sarah Nurse, Darnell's cousin, just signed in Toronto. So there's some players signed in Ottawa, but yeah, I haven't seen anything. I've been looking for that as who owns it, but I know the NHL doesn't own it, but they are in support of it too. So
perfect. It's a start. It's a step in the right direction.
Yeah, exactly. So Phil, your thoughts on this and kind of the growth of women's hockey too.
Yeah, like the only exposure I ever had to women's hockey is like Olympics, and you're kind of, unfortunately, like they're kind of like the calm before the storm of the men's game, that usually playing for gold against Team USA, and then usually the men are the next day. So like, you always support them. Obviously, like at the Olympics, you want to see the Canadian girls bring it and bring home the gold medal every year. I don't know, hopefully it's good hockey, out at a Tim Green camp like this year out in Camrose. Like, I know their power skating coach is a female, and she can just skate like the wind. So like, I don't know, some of these girls can skate pretty good and probably play pretty good, heck of a lot better than I am out there. So yeah, like I know, like I was born in England, so I watch soccer, and all the premiership teams have their women's teams in England for soccer, and I think that's pretty neat and cool to watch. So yeah, I might check it out a little bit this year for sure.
I can't. Sorry, Phil. It's tough. Your English accent's so thick that I forgot what you just said on that last.
I put this Canadian accent on. It's all just a facade, buddy.
Sorry.
So people think I know what I'm talking about with hockey, right?
I didn't mean to shut the podcast down there.
No. Rupper, you
just exposed me, Rupper.
Yeah, that's okay.
Rupper, your thoughts on this league? Yeah.
It's about time. How can I like I get that the NHL is not owners, but you say, and I'm not trying to take anything away from what transpired because I'm in full support of it, but the only way the NHL is getting involved if it's going to benefit them. So they have to be making money or getting a kickback somehow.
Correct. Yeah.
It, right? So it's not that they're let's be honest. They're not just out there supporting them. They're getting their cut or whatever it is, and they should because they're the big brother, and how else are they going to get how else is that league going to get their feet wet, right? So um I'm totally for it. It's about time. I hope it grows. I hope it expands. I think my only issue is that I don't want to get political, but there's been a lot of stuff, in the last year or two, with the trans movement, and I'd hate to see, you know, these women work so hard for, what they've done and what they've accomplished, and have a guy come in like, kind of the Riley Gaines situation and start breaking records and taking spots away from you know, women that deserve to play there. And like I said, I don't want to get political about it, but or that those are my feelings and those are my opinions, and some people might have their opinions, and that's fine.
Yeah.
I think that you know, and in the world we live in with social media and if you want to call it wokeism or wokeness or whatever you want to call it, it's just it's tough because you have women in the workforce and women in the world and sporting world or whatever, and you know they've been wanted to be treated equal to men for so long, and they've worked so hard to get there. And
So who's Riley
yeah,
Gaines?
Bosco, you want to take that?
You know what? I don't even know who Riley Gaines is, to be honest. So
Riley Gaines is an activist for.
yeah. I'm not educated enough to
She's
know that.
against the inclusion of trans women in sports.
Yeah.
So I did some research. Part research I did on this today. I didn't do any research on Riley Gaines, but the research I did is that I did talk to a few girls that have played pro hockey out in Sweden, over in overseas. They're actually like they're in agreement that they don't think that they'll have this problem in their league just because it hasn't been anything that they've had at the World Hockey Championship level or the Olympic level. They did talk about, yes, in weightlifting or MMA and in that there has been that situation. It has kind of been there, but they're more like, yeah, we're not too worried about that. But the biggest theme for them was like, yeah, like from the two that I chatted with today, like, they don't think it should be equal pay and all that because, men and women have different, hormones in their body and all that. So it's like, and then obviously in here too, for like, if they were to get pregnant, they do have in their contracts that they, they're on maternity leave
Sure.
and all that. Right.
But Bosco, the money will be there if this is a success, and you hope that, right? Like,
yeah.
If these guys start putting up numbers, they're gonna get. Hopefully, it's not a 1940 original six situation where they're getting a signing bonus as a coach. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
To your point, Riley Gaines is an American swimmer, and she and a bunch of women set a lot of records, and there was a trans woman or trans man, I don't even know the difference, guys, I'm sorry, that came in and started shattering a bunch of records. She went in front of Congress, and
Yeah.
It was awesome.
yeah, it was unbelievable. And you go on social media and you see the backlash she's getting, and it makes me laugh because you have, and that's what my point was, is that you have people today on social media and wherever it else may be that are fighting for women's rights and women to be equal when it comes to sports and whatever.
Yep.
else it may be, and I don't have a problem with that. But then you have a trans person come in to that sport and they back that. So like they're contradicting themselves. you, you you can't have both. Like it's just such wild times we're living in 2023 with some of the
Listen,
stuff when it comes to this.
I
And
think
like I said, I don't want to go off tangent or
yeah.
go off topically. I'm sorry, but I'm just giving you my opinion. And hats off to the women, and I hope it's successful.
I think if Bedman, I'm glad that Burke's involved because I think he understands. Like they're missing an opportunity, in particular in Canada, maybe in the States too, because of the rivalry and in some of those like Minnesota and then like the eastern states. But I think the PWHL could supersede the WNBA.
Yeah.
Maybe not. I mean,
not now. Like it's gonna like they got a few months here. Like it doesn't start till January of 2020.
Correct. Like I think more American audience members will fall in love with women's hockey than they would WNBA, if that makes sense. Just
have
because
they not already had 2 leagues have just folded over and over? Like it's been a complete failure every time.
But if you do it right, like if you're trying to sell out a 20,000 seat stadium, it probably isn't going to work. But think about it. If you put like the lower bowl for Rogers Place, let's just use that as an example. Yep. There are a lot of families that can't go to a game, an Oil Kings game or an Oilers game. So if you put, tickets cheap and whatever, have $5 hot dog or whatever it is, right? If you put it cheap enough and you get the women's game going, I mean, like Millwoods in itself, we have so many girls registered this year that, and Hockey Edmonton's also doing, or Edmonton Federation is also doing a great job where they branched off into the girls league and whatnot. But like we have girls registered that we're looking for a woman development director kind of thing, just to because we know where we're headed. Yeah, like so if you could do this right, you could run it as like I hate to say it, but you'd have to go below the Oil Kings almost, because the Oil Kings sometimes can sell out if they have teddy bear toss, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But if you market it right, I think you can have a gold mine if you keep it in.
And that was the whole NHL's theme of when they're going to get back behind it. Like they obviously helped, but they're just like, okay, give us your plan and let's see it. But
because the women's game, dude, it's good hockey.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it is. Good hockey. And hey, like I was at the Sierra tryouts,
and they don't fuck around.
No, and I was at Sierra tryouts tonight. There was me and 3 other evaluators, and on one of the teams, the best player, hands down, the other team was a defenseman, and she's a female. She was really good. So, like that's a U11 program that we were evaluating, but just they are there, like, but yeah,
I know who they need.
Like I agree, they need their league, and now they got it. Like these other 2 leagues folded throughout the seasons, and now this is on. It's where it needed to go. So for the and yeah, obviously it's a big.
I hope it works.
I hope it works too. They deserve it. They've worked hard for it. Their stage was always World Hockey Championships or the Olympics, and they wanted this badly. So now they got it, and they have the right people in charge taking care of it, and I think it'll do good. And so good on them. And I'm very excited to see it. And we'll do more women's coverage on our podcast. We get asked that all the time, and it's the same thing too with us getting asked about. Oh, you guys always have Calgary Flames on. Always Calgary Flames, always Calgary Flames. Well, the Calgary Flames, I'm not trying to jam the Oilers up, but the Calgary Flames are easy to work with. The Oilers are not easy to work with, and everyone knows that. It's not a secret. Phil and I were at this event on the weekend. We had a very top reporter on a very, great newscast. There were several newscasts there, but this reporter said
mainstream media.
And he said it's very tough for him too. So, it's he said he has a tough time with the Oilers, but we'll do more coverage of the women's game and all that. So it'll be, and just like that, we'll keep press and play with the Oilers, and hopefully it works out. But yeah, that's kind of.
Listen, I just found out a kid I used to coach. My first year of coaching, this was 1999. Adam Redmond married Natalie Spooner. I don't even know how I didn't know that before. And I saw the two
on
of
the
them
show, man.
It was like in a picture, and I'm like, what in like holy fuck out. Nice.
There you
Good
go.
for him.
Yeah. We'll have to get
He should
that.
just make a bunch of sport babies. That's what he should do.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
I think she is. I think
that's
didn't
100% that's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Because I think
What
he
the hell
went on to
happened?
play dub for
Jesus
a bit. And
Christ.
St. Albert Wi-Fi.
All right. Let's transition and finish up on a few other things here that we have on our notes. Maybe this one will take a half an hour. I don't know.
Just hang on. Just in closing, I think what Rupp was trying to say is we hope that this trans or woke atmosphere doesn't come into this and interfere with what they're trying to build.
No. Yeah, and you don't have to speak for me. Maybe I was rambling on there. I want it to succeed. I just don't want this to start succeeding and then have all their hard work go down the drain and a distraction from this or that. Listen, I honestly, I don't care if you want to be trans, but if we're starting to get into MMA and cracking skulls, then that's an issue. That's 100% an issue. If you think it's not, then you need to get yourself examined.
Yeah. All right. And obviously your words are your words, and I don't think it was wrong, Rupper. So yeah. And if we get heat, we get heat at the end of the day. But they deserve their league, and that's what it's all
100%.
Yeah, all for. So all right. We'll finish up on this. It's the most debatable topic, I guess, on social media a little bit here and there. And I'm a Leaf fan, so maybe we'll see what it is. But Auston Matthews re-signs with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's a 4-year extension, $13.25 million. I think it's around just $500,000 more than Nathan McKinnon. But you know what? The big takeaway for me is this: it just goes, at the end of the day of the contract, when this one's done, obviously he's got 5 years of service left with the Leafs, but it's a 4-year extension and one more year left. But the biggest thing that stands out to me is Auston Matthews, his time in Toronto, the Leafs never got a discount on his performance. They never got a discount on, what his contract was. And that was kind of botched under the Kyle Dubas era, where Dubas took over after they let Lou Lamoriello go. I don't think if Lou was there, this would have happened, but obviously it happened when Kyle was there, and now he's in Pittsburgh. But Brad Treliving comes in, very established general manager, 9 years in the NHL as a GM, and several years with the Coyotes as assistant GM. But the biggest takeaway for me on this is just the Leafs don't get a discount on this deal. So ever on him being a Leaf for, at least the 12 years that he's going to be there at the end of the contract. And we'll see at the end of this deal if he finally says, I'm going to sign an 8-year deal. But he kind of does things his own way, differently than other players. Obviously, a lot of players go the 8-year route and take the most amount of term and get the money. But and it's just the way it works. The same thing's going to happen in the NFL here by Sunday. Joe Burrow is going to be the highest paid quarterback. Is he the best quarterback in the NFL? No. Is Pat Mahomes? Yes. But when you're one of the top 5 players, you're obviously at that time, you're going to make more, because we all know when Connor's up, he's going to make more. Rupper, your thoughts on the Auston Matthews extension?
No comment.
He is not happy.
You don't like it?
No.
Why?
What don't you like?
I don't like Auston Matthews.
All right.
Why not?
Next person.
Okay.
No worries. If he's got no comment, it's all good. Vandy, your thoughts?
The fact that he got it, tree living, whether the contract negotiation was already in place or whatever before Dubas left. But the fact that he got it done, 4 years, I think was reasonable. You know, I don't think he's worth it. I don't think he's worth 13 mil. Everybody that I hear, podcasts, other radio, whatever, they seem to think he's worth it. But I think he's catching a buck. And, I think if Arizona, I don't know, he can't speak on that. I was going to say if Arizona had their ducks in a row or shit in a group, then he might want to go back home. But I mean, I don't know. I don't think he ain't worth 13 mil, in my opinion. I think that's an overpay for 4 years. Yeah, he's going to get you, 40 goals easily with his eyes closed. But, I mean, he ain't going to make it past the first, second round. He doesn't have that pedigree, that to me, that drive. Even when, watching him in the playoffs against Florida, was it Florida or Tampa? Yeah, Florida.
Yeah. Well, they did play Tampa too. Yeah.
But even watching him, I mean, he doesn't have that. And Marner's the same way. It's like,
I thought in the first series against,
and I'm not saying this to spite you or anything.
Oh no, I don't think you are.
This is what I see. I don't see a playoff competitive person. I see a person who I want to get paid. I want to be the highest paid player. I want to be the most marketable player in the NHL. I don't give a shit if I win rings. And look, I'm probably totally wrong. I mean, why else would he be playing the game? But to me, he doesn't have that competitive spirit. He doesn't come across as that guy that has a competitive spirit.
Yeah, I thought the first series against Tampa last year that he played good. He played the playoff hockey. He stepped it up. But when they played the Panthers,
I didn't watch. Yeah, I didn't.
When they played the Panthers, the Panthers smothered him and Marner and the rest of the guys. They could not get going. I think Nylander was the only guy that scored out of the core four in the front. But Broad, your thoughts?
I think it's smart business for him doing the shorter term deals. I think he's gonna, at the end of the day, he's gonna come across as a super genius here. Right, he's gonna be 30 years old when his deal's up. Is that correct? 31, 30?
Yep, 30.
30. So he'll still be scoring 40, 50, 55 goals, and he's gonna absolutely cash in. Right, if he did the 8-year deal, he's on his way down when that comes up. At 30, he'll be able to cash in, and I think he'll probably take that 8-year deal, and who knows what that'll be worth then. It'll be worth 15, 17, who knows by then.
Yeah.
He's going to make an absolute fortune. I can't begrudge a guy for not taking a hometown discount. Imagine you, any of us sitting at work, your boss comes to us and says, hey, do you want to take a hometown discount and our staff and our team will be better if you take 10% less? Fuck that.
Yeah.
Can't begrudge him for that. So, and it's just timing how he's able to get that deal. So it worked out great for him. But I agree with Clay. I don't see him as some elite playoff performer. He's good. He's really good at scoring goals, but he hasn't proven to anybody that he's worth it in the playoffs.
Him and Marner haven't produced in the playoffs at all.
100%.
Right? Yeah.
I'm sure they still have point of game or a close point of game.
And it still is a team game, but those guys compared, if you're going to compare to the other greats of the game, I think the big conversation I was seeing today on, some radio stations here and then some in Toronto when they were kind of talking about it too, is just, the difference between, the big thing today, because the conversation I had Jason Strudwick on the Toronto radio, like the only way the Oilers will win the Stanley Cup is if Connor McDavid plays 2 minutes less and decides to say, I'm going to sacrifice 20 points. So if it like that's because that's what kind of Jonathan Toews was.
Do you think Gretzky did that? You think Gretzky said, I'm going to sacrifice 2 points of a 192 point season to win the Stanley Cup?
No, it worked.
Yeah.
Explain to me how you sacrifice 2 points, Jason Strudwick.
Quit flying.
20 points. 2 minutes a
on the pucks.
20 points, Clay.
I know, but explain to me how that. No.
Well,
the
like
way
Brody
these athletes
said,
are built nowadays, they're built to play. Yeah. They're built to play 26, 28 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I get it. It gets physical.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I get it. It gets more physical in the playoffs, but No, Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl need to be they have been for the last 2 years. And the last 2 years we've lost, to the eventual Stanley Cup winners. Yeah. So let's not forget that.
The owner of the Golden Knights said on Elliot Friedman's podcast, he's like, we won the Stanley Cup because at the end of that series against the Oilers, they were gassed. He's like, we actually loved that they were playing 26, 29 minutes a night. And he's like, you look at our team, not one player played over 20 minutes for forward wise. Like obviously their defense, but their defense was pretty much evened out too. And Jeff O'Neill said today on his show, he's like, all these last several cup winners, it's always big, strong defensemen that we see. That's how it wins a cup.
So I was just going to say,
you know what's horseshit about that, Bosco? Who had the smallest D in the entire playoffs? The team who lost in the finals. So that's a horseshit. To me, that's horseshit. You can,
and it might
like
be
manipulating stats, right?
Yeah. But Colorado didn't have like a huge burling, when they won. No. Like Eric Johnson was their biggest defenseman. And Hansen was their second biggest defenseman, and then McCarr.
Lots of ways down,
right? Yeah. So
I think if we go back to talking about McDavid and those guys and becoming champions is by not flying the zone, by stopping on pucks, not being the last man back every single time, and deciding to, I'm not going to fly the zone. Instead, I'm going to come back and I'm going to chase this guy down. Like we should see him catch somebody on the back check every single shift.
Right.
We see it once every 5-6 games. And as soon as he does that, then the Oilers will win the Stanley Cup, regardless if he plays 22 minutes or 26, in my opinion.
Yeah.
As soon as he does that and everybody else does it, because if he's on the ice for 26 minutes and he's playing the right way, the Oilers are going to win championships.
Yeah.
And that's a fact.
I hate it when you're right.
But he said, but Connor, like what Brody just said, Connor said that tonight on Oilers Now with Bob Stauffer.
Good.
Bob said to him, he's like, yeah, look at last year. You guys are the most explosive team, high flying team. Everyone wanted to see you. You guys scored the most amount of goals last year. And you guys are on national television 18 times this year in the US. How exciting is that? He's like, it's really exciting, but it's not exciting when you get scored on as much as we did. So when Ekholm came, they went to 9th. They were 27th in goals against when Ekholm was here, and they're still in the playoff spot. Then when Ekholm came here, they were 9th. Ekholm played 18 games, and he was a plus 28. Like it was unreal what his impact was to the team. So, and obviously, like Jonathan Marchessault said, they exposed the Oilers because they didn't play the way they played. They were playing man defense, and he's like, he called that out in a Gene Principe interview after one of the intermissions here in Edmonton. So he's like, it's easy to play against because the way they're playing.
Here's my worry with Ekholm playing a full season with the Oilers is he's never really been the go-to number one quote defenseman.
Ever,
that his numbers need to stay where they were previous to coming to Edmonton, because he's a big man, right? Mm-hmm. And if he's playing, 26, 28 minutes or what, I don't know what his numbers are, but if he's playing minutes above what he normally did, my fear is that you run out of gas. Those are the guys that'll run out of gas in the playoffs. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl aren't going to run out of gas.
They run out of gas. Yeah, I agree. But
yeah,
and they should be good enough, the Oilers, leading into the end of the regular season, where they can rest Ekholm and bring him down to even less than his average for the last couple
weeks. Correct.
Yeah, and Draisaitl was pointless in the last 3 games of that series for the Vegas Oilers.
Yeah, because. Fucking
the slash.
That's right. Slash on the arm.
Yeah. Rupper,
to answer your question, I think Trey Living had to pay. He had to get that deal signed.
Yeah, and I think there's like 10 players, or maybe I think there's 10 or 15 players in the league that just walk up and they're like, "Here's the number, here's the term, and here's the no move, and here's the signing bonus," and then the GM has no choice.
But you're saying in the chat, Bosco, that like. Matthews is top 5.
I think he's a top 5 player in the NHL, 100%.
In the league?
Yeah, in the league.
Top 5 forward?
Top 5 forward in the league all day long. Yeah. Yeah. I think he has the most amount of goals since he broke in the NHL. He has the most by 25 goals. if anything that he's established better than anyone is he's the best even strength goal scorer in the NHL. So he has the most amount of even strength goals. The next guy closest to him is like 35.
So he's the best goal scorer.
No, I'm just saying like he's all around in ways like he's in the conversation. So, like
So if you have
obviously
if you have the
go
fifth
like
pick right now and you got McDavid, Draisaitl, Bergeron, or
but he won the Ted Lindsay,
McKinnon.
he won the trophy.
McKinnon,
Yeah, won the trophy. So he's former MVP of the league. Like he's not just like some just Joe Schmo guy that just goes on the ice and just twirls around. Like
if he's in Columbus, is he winning the Hart?
I think
No.
so. Yeah.
I don't.
No. No way.
No
in hell.
chance.
I think 60 goals, right? That like no one else did that until Stamkos did it in how many years, right? So and then McDavid did it last year. So I don't like Will can argue for another hour about it. Like that's your guys.
We always do.
Fine.
Once a month we do.
Yeah.
Rub your quiet over there.
So,
I'm almost ready for a bath.
yeah.
Gummies have kicked in, Rupert.
Oh, the gummy kicked
No.
in.
No,
I think he's a top talent player, and I think all around he's really good. But yeah, the biggest knock is he did it in the Tampa series when they needed him the most. He showed up, and then when the Florida series came, yeah, he had a tough series against Florida, and that was why they lost. They could not score goals. They didn't get blown out. Like they were not losing 7-0 games in the Florida series. Every game was 2-1 or 3-2. They just Leafs couldn't score more.
Also, if you want him to be a top 5 player, he needs to pull a Connor McDavid and get the overtime goal against Calgary to send them on to another series. He needs to score Stevie Yzerman, top shelf, win a series. That's what he needs to do. Actually get that physical goal that takes them over the edge to the next series. And he's never been close to doing it. Ever.
No,
Ever.
Yeah, no, I don't know. Like, did you watch the Tampa series though? Because he was, when when they were down 4-1, who was the player that brought him back into the game? Auston Matthews.
Yeah, I agree he's good. I'm not saying he's not good. He's an excellent hockey player.
Yeah.
I'm just saying if you, in my opinion, you want him to be in that category, he's got to step up when it actually matters.
Which I think he is. Like, I think the two-way play is there. I think, he's always been 60 points, 60% face-off player. That's hard to do in the National Hockey League. So, I don't know. I think he does a lot of good things, especially away from the puck. Like I obviously watch him every single night in Toronto, and that's my opinion. Everyone's got their own. But, anyone I've polled, like I said to you guys in the group chat, I text over 20 NHL players, current and former players, and they all said he's an elite player, top 5 player that they would take on their team. So.
Okay,
I know that everyone wants to talk about one-dimensional and all that too, and whatnot. But his pace is right next to Ovechkin's pace right now. And when Ovechkin.
Okay, but that's goal scoring. Right? That's not player.
It is goal scoring, but last year he took a different direction in the way he played. 41 goals for any player would love 41 goals, and you say 41 goals for him, like I still think that's a pretty good year. But
awesome.
A lot of it, if you look at his defensive zone faceoffs, his play away from the puck, it's I add all of that into the category. That's how I look at him as a top 5 player in the National Hockey League. But it's always a debatable topic, especially when you have there's goaltenders in the league too that don't get enough love also, right? So we obviously go to the offensive side, or some of the top defensive players, but like a couple of years ago we were saying Nathan McKinnon, and last year we were saying Cale Makar, right? So but yeah, 100%. The biggest knock is going to be playoff success. If he doesn't do anything in the playoffs, then it's just a really great. You have to do it.
It'll be McDavid. Right? If McDavid and Draisaitl don't win a cup, I mean, they'll be like tumbleweed down the road.
The same conversation.
Nobody will care.
The Oilers' window is 2 years, in my opinion. It's 2 years. So if they don't win a cup in 2 years, you never either got to a cup final or won a cup on a deal that Draisaitl is conceivably overpaid, or he underpaid. Sorry, like he is $8.5 million for 50 goal score every year and 120-point goal score every year, his next deal is at least $15 million. So you got to win a cup in the next 2 years, or you're going to have two players that are around $15 million. So you have two players at $30 million. Like, now, is that feasible under a cap that's maybe, at that time might be like $95 million if everything goes well, but maybe it's not at 95 million, right? Like, it's supposed to go up 4 million next year, and then maybe 3 or 4 million the year after that. And that's in Toronto gains a little bit because Tavares' contract comes off the books, right? So that's a big $11.5 million that comes off the books, when all these guys are in their situation. But we'll see what happens. Yeah, I don't know. We'll hopefully, that it's always a debate, whether we're true or not, or, it's like Rupper said in the chat, like it's everyone's opinion, and, no opinion's wrong.
100%. We're not, nobody's wrong. We can
nobody's
argue,
wrong.
we can debate.
No, 100% you can argue in the debate.
That's why I brought it up.
Where does Auston Matthews rank if he's here, right? In this market. So where does he rank? If Auston Matthews is a Edmonton Oiler and we see the success that he has, is he a top 5 player? Is it
with the players we have now?
I'm just saying if Auston
he's 4th,
Matthews,
he's behind Nuge.
So behind Nuge, okay.
Behind Nuge.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Wow.
Yeah, no, that's your opinion, right? So
that seems a little bit much.
He has to be trolling.
Yeah.
Maybe the gummies have kicked in for Vandy. So.
Yeah.
I don't do that stuff.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, we'll finish up on that. Maybe we'll have another debate down the road here, but for sure. All right. You guys
Rob,
have anything?
Great to have you back, my man.
Yes.
I know.
Yeah, no problem.
The feet
in another 8 months.
Good feet, Rupper.
No.
Are we plugging LB's pub right now?
Yeah, LB's.
Yeah. They're getting a plug. So
why wasn't that on the St. Albert pub crawl?
It was, but we didn't make it there. When you start at noon and you bow out at 10:30, it's a tough call.
Great time, man. Great people.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
all right, everyone. Enjoy the rest of the week. We have a full week of podcast next week. We got Bob Stauffer back, so hopefully maybe we can get Rupper back with him so they can go in their good debates. So Stauffer will be joining us again. Is a monthly hit with us, as we'll be starting off every month to start the month. Bob Stauffer will be joining us, so he'll be back. And then we got Mike Fuda. We have one of Phil's buddies joining us too. So he used to play in the National Hockey League, and maybe a couple more surprise guests coming up, and maybe the biggest surprise guest coming up. And thanks for everyone for joining in and having a conversation. And stay well, be humble, be kind, and enjoy the week.